guys. So I mean, Claudia invited me here because I did a world tour. The main problem when people say like, oh, how to travel around the world is first is time and then is money. So there were like the both questions that were really hard for me to solve, and to anyone that wants to do a world tour is like, how do I get time? How do I get money? Well, the good thing is that right now, guys, you have a lot of time available. I mean, that will be basically you're in this part of your life where you do have time. Afterwards, when you reach 30, you will have more responsibilities and it will be harder for you to take that time. So usually when you finish university, or maybe if you're in the middle of it, you usually can take a few months or up to a year to actually travel around the world. So that's why I did. So I was like in a situation where I finished my university and I finished literally everything, and and I start working in London. And in London, there's this particularity where you get a job in 1 year. I don't know if it makes sense, but basically, I did like a summer internship, and the bank for which I was working for told me, "Great, Vanessa, you did a good job. Now we are going to hire you in 1 year time." So I knew I would get a job in 1 year, and then that meant that I had like 1 year free. So the thing is that like I was thinking, do I really want to travel for 1 year? The thing is, traveling for a year, it's a lot. I'm usually I like to be busy. I like to be working. So I just thought like, okay, I'll do it in 4 months instead of 1 year. So you will have like different ideas of how you could do it. In my case, I did it the lazy way. I just took on a loan. The thing is, in Europe, I managed to get a loan, just literally like zero interest, and for maybe it was about like 10,000 euros. So I managed to get the loan for 10,000 euros, and I took it because I knew I would have a job and I knew I could pay for it for the next 2 years. So once I get a job, so for me the loan was perfect because actually I started to pay the loan 1 year after. So once I start working, I would be paying back the loan. So I did all the calculation in match. I say, okay, fine, I can do it this way. So getting a loan, I mean, for me was great because I had the security of the job afterwards. So I know some people as well get loans. You need to make sure that you get a job afterwards and that you have the means to pay it back. So that's the way I did it. But I've seen other people doing things completely different. So a very common strategy to get money while traveling are hostels. I don't know if you know hostels. I mean, I'm sure you must have traveled a bit. Even in Colombia, there are many hostels. But hostels usually like to have foreigners to come and help them out. Usually, they will give you free nights out stay, so you can stay there for a few weeks or a few months if you decide to stay longer, and you get like free nights basically. So usually hotels is the most expensive thing that you have to pay. So if you don't have it, then I mean, yeah, that's great. So I've seen people doing this in all the countries I've traveled, like London, in Europe, in Asia, like literally everywhere. People would just work a bit in hostels and that would be enough. The other thing I've seen people as well was to work for restaurants, waiters. I mean, this kind of job who are easy to get and easy to leave and gives you as well money, cash. So you would have a lot of people that actually do that as well. Usually it would mean that you will have to stay a bit longer in a country. So let's say about like a month. You will have to stay like in a city for months, but it means actually you can also travel around the city. So you will be in one country, one city, but you will be like traveling as well and working there. So that's a way of doing it. Another way, I'm sure you have heard of it. It's a bit tough, but it works. Is a blog traveler. So I mean, in the blogging industry and vlogging industry, in YouTube, Instagram, traveling is a massive thing. Like usually people that travel get a lot of attention because they're selling dreams, they're selling like nice places, and they get a lot of followers. Once you get a lot of followers, like I'm talking more than 2,000, 3,000 on Instagram or more than 1,000 on YouTube, well, it depends on the platform, then you can get sponsorships. Like it means like basically brands, let's say Nike or whatever brand you want, are going to ask you, please post a picture about this with my brand, and they will pay you for it. So it's a huge world of blogging, and I advise you to have a look on YouTube. They explain it a lot. It takes a bit of time to get all the followers, but I know a lot of travel bloggers travel thanks to that. So once you get the money sorted or half sorted, you should know that there are tools to help you out doing a world tour. So for me, I had basically like 4 months and I just wanted to travel. So I was in London at the time. And for me, I really wanted to stay a long time in Japan. I was even thinking like, oh, maybe if I stay in Japan, because Japan was my dream, literally. So I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should, I don't know, like either do like 4 months world traveling and then 6 months in Japan. But then I thought, okay, fine, let's include Japan in my world tour. So the tool that I found to travel, which I really recommend you take it down. I mean, it's a very good one. It's called One World. World is the agglomeration of different airplane companies. So you'd have British Airways, American Airlines. I mean, you have different people, different companies, and they offer world tour tickets. Or at the time, I'm talking about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it used to be 2,000 euros to travel all around the world. So I remember at the time when I said it to everyone, yeah, I paid 2,000 euros to travel around the world. People were like, what? 2,000 euros? It's nothing to travel around the world. And I got about 16 destinations. So yeah, that was really, really, really cheap. So have a look at it. There are others. I know One World is not the only one, but I traveled with One World, so yeah, I recommend it. It was really cool. Sometimes when you want to change destinations, change the dates, it's easy to do it. So yeah. So without further ado, I want to share my screen. So I started in London, and I thought, like, where do I want to go? Oh, here you see in red where I went. I chose those places because I had either friend or family there. So for me, it was important to know, to have people where I was going to travel. I didn't want to be there alone. And so most of those destinations, I had people. So London, I wanted to go to Madrid, Bogota, because I have lots of friends in Bogota, Miami, Los Angeles, Japan, which is my dream, Seoul, Hong Kong, Mumbai, Amman, which is Jordania, Israel, and then back to London. Okay, so I remember when I set it up, I was like, oh wow, I'm going to travel around the world. It's so amazing. And even if you look at this is a print screen that I took in 2012, yeah, I was thinking like, look at my Windows version. Cool. So yeah, that was a long time ago. But still, I mean, you can do as much as you want. I know that they also offer tours only in Latin America, only in one continent, for instance. So yeah, it depends on what you want to do. So we're going to have a look at all the destinations. I've prepared some pictures. I just want to tell you my experience and how it was. Yeah, basically, yeah, it was really fun, and you really have a sense of freedom that you hardly have ever in your life. So let's start. So I started in Madrid. That's me, Madrid. That's me and my friend. I really recommend it. It's one of the most cool destination when you live in Bogota, because I mean, they speak Spanish. It's easy. Usually, it's fine. So once coronavirus is gone, it's over, or we can travel at least. I really recommend Madrid. It's really nice. It's a nice European city. and you still have a lot of Latinos. You have yeah. So yeah, I remember that I went to Barcelona even once, and I met like a Colombian guy over there who was so into you know, like independence of Barcelona and Catalonia. So that was like so yeah, you can get very national when you travel and live in a place. So so that was in a place as well. That was nice. Yeah, I was with my friend for a few days and we just traveled. So yes, that's just to give you an idea how it looks like. That was a bit in the outside outskirts of Madrid. A very huge palace, really huge. I remember it was very huge. So once I was here, and then I went to Bogota, where you are, guys, right? So, yeah. So I went there as a tourist, met many friends, and yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, although I mean, I actually, you may not know this, but I do know Bogota, and every time I go there, I still feel like a tourist. I still want to go to the Gold Museum, to Monserrate, to all those places. So so yeah. And what is the most important thing about Bogota and Colombia? So games and alcohol. So basically, I remember that we took like a week off, a week off, and we all went to a finca and we partied. So that basically a picture of us. Don't say my friends have showed this picture, but yeah, with my friends. I'm sure you must have had these plans 10 years ago, but I don't think it has changed much. So that's me in the corner, and yeah, we're just like having some games. So yeah, all right, okay. So that was Colombia. I stayed there a few weeks, I think 2-3 weeks. So yeah, that was amazing. And all right, okay, cool. So now let's start Miami. I remember a very funny story, but I arrived to Miami, and when you arrive to the United States, the first thing you need to do, the really first thing, not even when you go out of the airport, is you need to rent a car. So this is my car. The problem was that at that time, I was like about 23. I didn't know very well how to drive. So, so yeah, I managed. I mean, I had my driving license, but I didn't have enough time of hours of experience. So that was roughly one of the first time I even drove in my life, like for real, in a real. And I parked the car here because, as you see, I'm surrounded by water. On the other side of the street as well, it's the same. It's a street in the middle of the sea, basically. So the sea and the road. So I was like, wow, you know, I was like, oh wow, it's so beautiful. I want to stop. And the thing is, I didn't look at the cars behind me or in front of me, so I just parked. But when you park, you have to slow down. So I didn't see people were behind me, so I just parked and just stopped in the middle of the street and parked. And then I had so many people beside me, like, you know, like honking, making noise, looking at me. Yeah, that was it was a bit of a rough time, but yeah, I managed to park my car and take this picture, which is really nice. I really recommend it if you go to Miami, because Miami is mostly known for shops, but it's also quite beautiful. So yeah. Also, something that I haven't told you is that in Miami, I asked my grandmother, whoever we have in our family, because she knows everyone in my family. I have family a bit everywhere in the world, and she says like, yes, we have someone in Miami. So we have some distant uncle, relative. I don't even know how we are connected, but I discovered, as you can see in the picture, that they were actually rich. So the guy managed to create his own bakery or hotels in Miami, and he got a flat, and this is the view from his flat in Miami. So yeah, I came back to Miami like 3 years ago, so 7 years later, and I can assure you that Miami is not as nice as in this picture because I went to other places. So this is a Gulf, and this is a lake as well, and yeah, it's really beautiful. And he had like a very last floor apartment, so that was really nice. This is also a view. So he told me, and I think it's still true nowadays, this island is basically the millionaire island in Miami, where every person who is super rich or famous in the United States, they have a house here, and it's an island literally. So in order to get there, you need to have your own boat. So I found it was very funny and fancy. I was like, oh, maybe one day, but still. So yeah, so that was Miami basically. Finished in Miami, and I went to Los Angeles. So in Los Angeles, I had a Japanese friend. So you may not know this, but there are a lot of Asian in these parts of United States, because that's the closest for them, because they're here. Basically, they just crossed the Pacific. So you'll have a lot of Asian in Los Angeles, California. So this is me, the Walk of Fame. So with Walt Disney star, that was impressive, because you just walk and you see all these names that you know. I have tons of pictures with other names. I was a big fan of Walt Disney, so for me, I was just like, oh yeah, of course, picture with Walt Disney. But yeah, so that was one of the things we did. I went to Beverly Hills. So over there as well, like the houses are insanely big, like super big. We took a tour in the neighborhood, and yeah, the houses are big. So it was very funny, because my friend was telling me, oh, this is the house of this famous actor and this famous actress is over there. So he really became like a paparazzi. But yeah, so that was fun. And that's with my friend. So Los Angeles has a beach. So yeah, we hang out in the beach of Los Angeles. So yeah, a funny fact, interesting fact of Los Angeles is that it's a really big city, like a really, really big city. And my friend was telling me that in order to go around, you have to get a car, obviously. You have a car, and you usually spend easily 2 hours to go wherever you want. There's so much traffic, so you have to just take like 2 hours to go and 2 hours to go back. So many people in Los Angeles and in America as well, but they live in their car. They spend more time almost in their car than in their flats or with friends or in their work. They're always in the car. All right, okay. So it's not in the map because last minute I decided to do a small trick at my itinerary, because I have some family in Las Vegas. So yeah, you can see it here. So I went to Las Vegas for a few days. And this is it. So this is my cousin, and we went for a horse ride, sorry. And this is a view of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is literally located in a desert. Like, this is the desert. But this here are mountains, but usually they're not even mountains. It's literally nothing. And then you would have a city. So we went for some horse ride, and then the city, that was the view of a hotel over there. I mean, it's really incredible, Las Vegas, because I don't know, you can see still the mountains. So there's literally nothing. It's a desert, and then in the middle of it you have this basically. So yeah, it's very impressive for me as a European. Las Vegas is very fake. I mean, like, I go there and I'm just like, oh wow, it's so fake. But yeah, like, you have even the Eiffel Tower here, Caesar's Palace, which is very famous over there. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun to have a look at it and go around. And basically, you also live in the hotels. So my family worked in hotels. Actually, yeah, my family worked in hotels. Exactly what you were doing, guys. And she managed one of the hotels. So I'm taking this picture from a suit that she gave me access to. So yeah, and this is inside of the hotel, right? It looks like I'm outside in Venice, but no, this is a hotel called Venice, and there's a swimming pool here and people just looking very Italian. And yeah, this is inside a hotel, basically. And every time in all the hotels, literally in every corner, you will have like not a cash machine, but like a machine to play casino, like literally everywhere. So that was very impressive. So when I finished Las Vegas, I was on to go to my dream destination, Japan. So here I am in Tokyo. So it was very hard for me to select the best pictures to show you guys, because there are, I mean, I took like thousands and I was like, oh, there are so many, so I'll just go around and then show you. So this is a picture. This is my friend, so we traveled together as well, so for Japan. So he joined me in Japan, so that's cool. And she's so cute. I still love this picture. She's very cute. So we went to a temple where, and we were in that point of time of the year where all parents would dress up their kids like this in traditional dresses and kimonos. It was so cute. I don't know if you can see, you can't see very well, but here there's another one. We didn't take more picture, but she was so cute. So yeah, so Japan is very different. So here, just to show you a bit about our daily life, very random things. So this is my friend, and he gave us like a flat. I rented the flat from him. To give you an idea about prices, I rented like $1,000 per month. A very small, tiny studio, but it was in Tokyo. It was in central Tokyo. So we needed to have, he came along, so we needed to have more beds, sheets and everything. So we were just like traveling with in Tokyo City with all this. So that was fun. Yeah, so I spoke a bit of Japanese because that was my dream, to go to Japan. So I spoke a bit Japanese, but not enough, not a lot. I mean, like barely to go around and say, where is there? So I think I still, oh yeah, I still remember how to say where. Where is doko? So you say just doko, wherever, and then people would just tell you, oh, around here, around there. So most of the time I use my hands, because Japanese are very bad at English, really bad. So yeah. And what is funny, I mean, my friend looks Japanese, but he doesn't speak any word of Japanese. So when we were together, people were talking to him, but I knew more Japanese than him, so they just could not understand what was happening there. So yeah, but you know, you shouldn't be afraid of not speaking English, because people, once you are there, people would just try to speak to you, or the language of the hands is very useful, you know. I mean, I'm hungry, you just put a hand on your stomach and that's it. So yeah, it was okay. And yeah, and Japan has a lot of karaoke's. So we went to a karaoke. I mean, I think we wanted to spend maybe 30 minutes to sing, but we spent, I think, 3 hours. 3 hours. So that was one of our pictures, because you can also dress up. You can you sing, and they have songs in English, a very old song, very old. But I mean, you can, at least you can sing along. So that was funny. Something else that we did, which was amazing, guys. If one day you go to Japan, you need to go to this market. So there is a fish market, and you may not know, but fish market open at 3 a.m. and close at 8 a.m. Okay? So I'm not like you guys. I could never attend to a 7 a.m. course. I'm actually I'm in another country, so ours is slightly different. But for me, waking up so early is just like impossible. So actually, guys, welcome for you guys being here at 7 a.m. But we wanted to go to this fish market, which opened at 3 a.m. and closed around 7 a.m. So what we did, basically, we just didn't sleep. We just go on party, drink, whatever. And once we finished, which was roughly 3 a.m., we just went there, the fish market. Within the fish market, there were many sushi shops. Okay, so this is a picture of us eating sushi. And what is insane about Japan is that Japanese like to eat, and they like to eat very well. So if you have 4 Japanese restaurants aligned literally on top of you, and you see one with a queue, which one you do? You do the restaurant with a queue. Because people don't want to go to a restaurant that is not as good as, which is not the best. So they would prefer to do the queue, the best restaurant, rather than trying the other restaurants. So yeah, so I remember very well, this sushi shop is very tiny. Behind us there is a mirror, and it's literally only 4, 5, 6 of us. It's a very tiny sushi place, and they were doing sushi, and there was literally 1 hour of queue, 1 hour. So but still we did it. Yeah, well, I think we continued drinking. But yeah, but on the other sushi shop were literally empty. So I was very okay, you can see that this is a very simple sushi. I think it must be like a salmon nigiri, so only salmon and rice. This place, literally, they gave us only sushi which were very simple, like literally simple. So I know in Colombia they put you Philadelphia cheese, pineapple, maracuja, and trucha. Well, I mean, so many different things. They are very inventive, and but yeah, in Japan it was very straightforward, like the fish and the rice. But they would make sure that they would cook you the best rice and they would cut you the best fish. Do you know? Question. Do you know? Guess how many years it takes to be a sushi chef? 7 years. That's my Japanese teacher told me this actually. So, and we were like, 7 years? 7 years to cut sushi? So the thing is, Japanese are very, very respectful, and they want to be like literally like the best. So he basically told us, like, it's 7 years. It's like the first year, just wash the floor of the sushi shop, because while you wash and clean, you see how the others are doing, and then you spend another 1 year learning about I don't know, like the knives, because you need to know about knives, which knives which knife to use in each fish part. You need to know 1 year going to the market, not supermarket, the fish market, know which fish you should go for. Another year for the cut of fish, because you don't use all the part of the fish, but just one. Another year how you cut it. I mean, like, literally, that's how Japanese way. But they make it very good. So yeah. But yeah, I know in other countries it's just like 5 minutes and that's it, you're done. You know how to, you're the sushi chef. Okay. So that's a picture of me with a kimono. I was like, oh wow, that was so cool. It was a kimono for tourists, so you just put the kimono on top of your clothes. But that was really cool. Oh yeah, so that's a very funny story. So Japan has what they call it onsen. Onsen means like hot water spring. So there are natural hot water, and you can see here. It's actually really hot. Maybe like 40 or 50 degrees. It was really hot. So I remember that I did a tour in Japan, and I went to Beppu. Beppu is a city in the south of Japan, which is very well known for its hot spring. So everyone goes to hot springs over there. And when I arrived to the station, I asked the tourist guide that I wanted a very natural onsen, hot spring, very natural. And I remember the girl told me like how natural I was, and I was like, very, the most natural you ever have. So she said, okay, fine. And I remember she had all the maps of to get to every hot spring, and she ditches all the maps and she starts with a blank page, and she starts like drawing the way, literally drawing the way to how I should go to this hot spring. So I had to take a bus, and then I had to leave at a cemetery. So I had to cross a cemetery, and then I had to go under a bridge, like the highway. I mean, I was like, what is that? I remember when I read, I was like, there is no one, literally no one. It was literally like the very green. And when I arrived, I saw a naked man, basically. Naked men around here. You can't see them because they're not appearing in the picture. But in this hot spring, there were at least like 15 men naked, taking a shower or washing up in this onsen. And you need to know that over there is very common that you go and you wash yourself with other people naked. So for me, I was like, okay. What am I doing here? And they expected me to get naked as well. So I was like, no way, no. So behind me there's this plastic bag where I had all my stuff, swimming suit and everything. But because I was surrounded by naked men, I was like, I'm not going to take off my clothes, even though I don't want to. No, I'll just sit here with my clothes on. So I just remained with my clothes, and I just talked to them. So they were very confident talking to me. So yeah, that was very funny. Have you ever had this experience? I'm not sure. In Colombia, you may have some nudist beach. I don't know. You maybe don't want to showcase this. But yeah, part of the trip. That's me traveling a bit around Japan. There's a waterfall here. It was really nice, really nice. Just like small bridges that they have everywhere. So beautiful. Here it is as well in the middle of the sea. Really beautiful. I went in fall in Japan, which I also recommended because you have so many nice tree colors, like really red, or behind you can see it's yellow. I mean, I took so many pictures of only the trees because that was amazing. I mean, I never saw that before. So yeah, trees over there in fall are amazing. And one day it was roughly November or December around those dates. So yeah, that was really nice. All right, okay, guys. So when I left Japan, I must say I cried because for me it was like my dream country. I didn't want to leave. I even tried to find a job. I actually found a job, but I didn't really like it. So I was like, no, prefer not to continue. So I didn't stay. Staying in Japan is very hard, it's very complicated. So yeah, I was like, okay, fine, no, I'll continue, I'll carry on, and I'll go to Korea. But I remember very well that for my flight to Korea, I was crying because I was very sad to leave. So what I didn't expect was that I would also cry leaving Korea. Why? Because Korea was actually amazing. So this is it. With a friend in Korea, South Korea, I must say. He invited me for a South Korean barbecue, which you must go one day, or it might be in Bogota, I'm not sure. But yeah, barbecue, like Korean barbecue, are amazing. They give you like mini dishes, small dishes, and you burn them, you cook them, sorry, here in the middle. And once it's cooked, you put it on a leaf, like a salad, and you just eat it this way. So it's kind of like a burger, but with a leaf. So yeah, and what I discovered was that Korean are super friendly. I mean, Japanese are really nice, super nice, but they're not as friendly as the Korean. So for me, that was a big change. And yeah, I was like, oh, wow, amazing people. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. And this here, as you can see, it's alcohol, but it's 40 degrees alcohol, and they drink it as if it was water. So they get drunk very easily. But yeah, they drink a lot. So yes, that was fun. And this is the type of castle you can see in South Korea. A funny fact is that I thought that castle you would just have to go inside and you stay inside. But in South Korea, castle you have to be outside to appreciate it. You won't be able to go inside. So they usually have this green roof and red bricks, red columns. So yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, Korea was really nice, and that was with my new friends over there. We went there when it was. Do you know the song Gangnam Style? Gangnam Style. That was a time where it became famous. And here, I know the picture is not great, but here you can see it's Gangnam. So the song is based on this. Gangnam is a neighborhood of South Korea, of Seoul. So it's a very well-known neighborhood, a very expensive neighborhood. So Gangnam Style is basically about this neighborhood. And Oppa means boyfriend. So Oppa Gangnam Style, now you know what it means. So we were just doing the moves of the Oppa. And what is very funny, this couple, they're not together in the picture, but him and her, I met them because they told me that they wanted also to travel the world from South Korea, but in bicycle. Yes, bicycle. I was like, what? I took a plane and you're going to do like a bicycle? And they were like, yes, because they wanted to travel around the world, or they wanted to go from South Korea to London via bike. And I couldn't believe them. So I was like, really? So I followed them. Once I met them, I followed them on social media. And it's true that for 3 years, they bike around the world, literally. And they did all China. They went to India. They also went through all the Asian side up to London. And they arrived to London by bike. 3 years it took them. And yeah, I was so impressed. So see, I mean, you have many people that do very crazy stuff their own way. But yeah, no, they bought like special bicycles, like literally like a very professional things, and they put stuff. I mean, it was very professional. They did very well, like the Korean style. So they did. It was amazing, literally. And they took a lot of pictures, and they did a vlog. So I think they earn money as well this way about it. So yeah, congratulations to them. I remember as well when I was traveling, I was staying a lot in hostels, and in the hostel you meet so many people that are doing the same. So I was traveling with people that were also doing world tours or country tours. So that was cool because we were also following each other. So yeah, you meet so many people. Going in hostels, it's great to meet new people, and you know. So okay. So yes, I told you, I cried when I left Korea. I was an amazing city. So I really actually, now that I've been to both, yeah, I really want to go back to Korea. South Korea was really amazing. Like South Korean are really nice, and we had a great time. Okay, so then I went to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, that was it. So we went on the top. So she's a great story. So in Hong Kong, I had absolutely no one to host me, or no one I knew even to take a coffee. Literally, I knew no one. And as I've told you before, I chose all those destinations because I knew at least someone that was there. So that was the first time I didn't know anyone. And what I did, I went to couch surfing. Couch surfing is a great place because you basically just get a couch sort of for free. So, but you need to be very careful because it's free. Some people may ask you for some, sexual experience as well. So you have to be very careful with that. And that's why, I mean, I went for a girl, and this girl actually wanted to learn English. So, I mean, she spoke very well English already. She was studying English. She was like 16 when I met her, and she just wanted to speak English. So they say, yeah, fine, Vanessa, come. I mean, she will be speaking with you all the time in English. And yeah, so that was great because I was with her and speaking in English all the time. And yeah, I mean, she had such a good level of English. But yeah, it's a really good way to meet foreigners and to speak, to force yourself to speak. Maybe do couch surfing or try to be around foreigners, and then you will be able to speak more, or at least, I don't know, a bit faster. So yeah, she was very cute, and her family was amazing. They took me literally everywhere in Hong Kong. So that's the view, a famous view in Hong Kong where you see everything. Oh yeah, and they took me to that place. You see there are many wedding couple. So this place is famous in Hong Kong to take pictures for married couple. So I can't show you, but I don't have more pictures of this, but there were, I count them, there were over 50 brides, 50 brides taking picture in this place. So it was actually even hard for the photographer to take a picture without everyone behind it. But for me, I was like, wow, there are so many brides and grooms taking pictures of their wedding, literally. And it was a very tiny place. I mean, it's not very big, you know, it's in the middle of the city. It's this square. and you had you can see that you had a big tree, and people would want to take a picture of their wedding in the big tree. So that was yeah, fun fact that you'd see in countries. I love markets, so I went to a market, and that was a stand of from the market. They were selling literally, as you can see, everything, and they were just aligned one to next to each other. So yeah, they were selling like, yeah, this is all the sauce, sausages, sauce. I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, I mean, I like to discover new things. So for me, it was amazing to be in the supermarket, into the market, sorry, and yeah, and eat and buy, and it was very, very cool experience. So if you want to know a country or their food, go to the market. You won't regret it. You will discover many things. Okay. And then that's a nice story. So after Hong Kong, I went to the airport, ready to go to Mumbai and to meet my friends, and I had a lot of plans. And okay, as a European, I never ever had to ask for a visa. So I don't know how visa works. So some of my friends told me like, oh yeah, you need to get a visa to get into India. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went to the Indian embassy and asked for an Indian visa. But I had no clue that the visa expired. So when I arrived to Hong Kong, ready to get to my plane, the flight attendant said to me like, oh, but your visa is expiring today. You can't go to India. And I was like, what? What are you saying? No, I have to go to India. He said, no, I can't let you in. You have to renew your visa, because I did it at the start of the trip, but that was more than already, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe even before. I did it like 4 months before. So my visa expired. So I could not go to Mumbai. And basically I was like, oh, what should I do? I can't go there. Where can I go with my passport without needing a visa? And I went to Nepal, so which is roughly here. So yeah, that was a small twist as well of my itinerary. And I went to Nepal. So that's Nepal. That's Kathmandu. It's very colorful, as you can see, but I mean, for me, it was a cultural shock, because this is supposed to be the capital of the country, and you can't see very well here, but here there's no, I mean, it was only like earth ground, like they didn't have like roads. People were walking on ground basically, and I was like, oh wow. And there was cuts of electricity. You wouldn't have electricity 24 hours. It would be maybe 3 hours per day when you're in the capital. So I was like, oh wow, it's very, very poor country, very poor country. But what I came there mostly for the mountains, so I was like, okay, fine. But oh yeah, and I got a bit blocked. I stayed there like 1 week. Was like, yeah. Sometimes you learn on the bad way. But okay. And I wanted to show you the food. So this is what they ate every day. So someone asked me about food. So here is a very typical Nepali food. So you have rice, you have a dal, naan, dal, meat. Oh, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it's meat, some salad, and creamy sauce, and yeah, and that was it. And they would eat this every day. I will have this every day. So that was yeah, that was funny. Actually, that was good. So I was like, I liked it. But they like spicy food, so you need to like spicy. But yeah, usually Asian eat very spicy. And that was a view of the mountain. So I did the Himalaya for 6 days. It was amazing, amazing. That was on day 2 or 3, I remember. We had an amazing view, really, really beautiful. That's a very simple place to stay. And yeah, and a funny story is that, I mean, I'm not very sportive, but I like to be active. I'm not super sportive, but I remember that I was like, okay, fine, I'll do I do the walking. And the walking in the Himalaya is basically super steep, like very steep. So it's basically as if you were like climbing stairs, but for kilometers and kilometers of stairs. So I remember that my legs, which were not prepared for this, The next day when I woke up, I could not move my legs. I mean, I really felt like I could not move it. I could not move them. I had to use my hands and my arms to move my legs because they were like literally they were like stones. My muscles were like couldn't really. I mean, they were not expecting this. So so I remember I couldn't even get up from my bed. I had to just literally just help myself as I could. So yeah, it was very intense, but worth it. So okay, and then from Nepal, I don't know, from Mumbai, I went to Jordan. Why Jordan? Do you know what there is in Jordan? Okay, there is something which is very famous for us. It's Petra. Petra is a city in the rocks. So I'll show you some pictures. Okay, this is basically me. But these are rocks. So those rocks are like in a valley, and it's a huge valley, and they have like some constructions. Here you can see it's a city made of rocks. Here you can see. So yeah, it's really beautiful. It's one of the wonders of the world. Petra, it's amazing. It's very expensive to get in. It's 100 euros if you want to go inside. So that was really expensive. And a funny story, I met a guy in Jordan, and he basically, I mean, Jordan are so nice. It's a very, I don't know how to say, I don't say, it's not macho, but it's a very, basically, when a woman arrives, she cannot pay for anything. That's their culture. So I met that guy literally in the hotel, and he was telling me like, "Oh no, but you are going to Petra. Oh, I'm going to go with you." So literally, he paid for me everything, like the bus, the trips. I was like, "Okay, no, but I have money, I can pay." And I was, "No, I'm going to pay." So he paid for literally everything. And when we arrived to Petra, which was 100 euros, and I was like, "Please, you're not going to pay 100 euros. I'll pay it." And he said, "No, don't worry. I have a cousin who knows blah 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 who works inside Petra." So basically, he made a few calls, and we entered Petra on the side. So we did not pay. But but Jordanians are really nice. They really help each other really a lot. So yeah, I owe him a lot, and so yeah, that was really cool. And so that's one of the guide who was in Petra. And I just wanted to show you this picture because, you know, like over there, they fancy to have, guys fancy to have like eyeliner under their eyes. So he was just doing it here, and here you can see that. So yeah, it's the fashion of the desert over there. So yeah, that was very funny. Okay, and then I went to Israel. So that was maybe not a very smart move because so I was in Jordan, and there is a borderline from Jordan to Tel Aviv, but you can only pass from one spot, okay? And it's very controlled, although they are in peace and everything is fine, but still it was very scary. I remember because I was with maybe other 5 tourists, and they put us in a small bus, very tiny bus, a van. Actually, it was more a van, and then we crossed the border. But there was so many soldier, and there was, you know, like as if they were in war. There were many borders, and there were many security. I mean, one of the girl in the bus, she screamed at some point because she was so scared. Like literally, we were so scared. I was with maybe 2 Americans and 2 Japanese and me, and we were like, "What are we doing here? This is crazy." And when we arrived to the other side, the Israeli side, I was so surprised to see so many young people in the army uniform. So the girl who welcomed us, she was basically 17 or 18 years old. She was red hair, blue eyes, really pretty. And I was like, okay, this is the military people that are in Israel. Was that all right? So yeah, that's an experience. But yeah, I'll show you later this picture. So here it was when I arrived, the Wall of Lamentations. Well, yeah, that was cool. Oh yeah, I went to Jerusalem, and it was one of these years where it snowed a lot. It snowed so much, as you can see, everything got blocked, and I had to stay 1 week more in Jerusalem, blocked, because I couldn't move anywhere. So yeah, anything can happen. It's on Friday and Saturday. So whole Saturday and starting from Friday, you have what is called Shabbat, and Shabbat basically means there's no transport. That's for the Jewish side. So if you want to go anywhere, you can, but you have to go walking. But then you will have the Arabs who don't follow this rule of Shabbat, and then you would still have some transports, but they are basically drove by Arabs. Okay, and the other two religions that are over there, they are Christianity and Druze, which is some form of Muslim Islam. So yeah, so when I went there, I was very saddened because this whole country is divided basically Jewish and Arabs on both sides. And I went to Jerusalem and I stayed in an Arabic hostel because it was cheaper. Jewish were more expensive, so I was like, okay, I want to save money, so I was with the Arabs. So I was on the Arabic side. So this is a picture from the Arabic side, and this in the middle it's this bus station, and on the other side of the bus station here was the Jewish side. So literally they are living like very close to each other, but they don't mix. For me, that was very sad. I remember, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to show you the soldiers. So basically, you have so many soldiers, very young, and it's very common to see them on the streets. Yeah, you see them everywhere. So for me, it was like very like, whoa, what is happening? There's too many soldiers, and they're so young, and girls as well. Here there are many boys, but there are also girls. So yeah, at some point you get used to it, but at first you're just like, oh wow, that's too much. 3 years for guys and 2 years for women. It's a lot. I've met a lot of Israeli that says it's way too much. 3 years is a lot. So usually what they do is after they do 3 years of the army, and before they join the university, they take a gap year. So you may, I don't know if you've known, but they go a lot to Latin America. And one of their favorite countries is Colombia. I've met so many Israelis that went to Colombia. This is very uncommon because in Europe, you hardly see anyone who has been in Colombia. I mean, it has changed. Nowadays, more people are going to Colombia than before. Before, I'm talking prior coronavirus, right? But in Israel, so many of them go to Colombia. Like literally, it's like half of the army guy, they go to Colombia. So you may have known a few Israelis in Colombia, specifically in hostels they go. So yeah, there are many Israelis in Colombia. So yeah, okay, and that's Masada. That's a Jewish historical monument in a mountain where you can see the Dead Sea, part of the Dead Sea, which is drying out. And yeah, and this has a very like a sad story about Jewish people, because the story is that at the time, like we're talking about like 1,000 years ago, before Christ, before Christ, Romans were conquering everywhere in the world. You know, they were the first nation. And they wanted basically everyone to adore their gods, to live their life, and if you didn't, they would basically kill you. So Jewish did not want to adore the gods; they had their own gods. So they resisted, and they flee to this place where I'm standing at, which is called Masada, and they stayed there for a few years until one day the Romans came and they came literally from where you see the Dead Sea. They came here, and they came, and then they built a bridge, kind of like a small mountain of stones. They put a lot of stones so they could go up until here. And once they did it, they came and they killed everyone. So that's a very sad story that we learn when we go to this place. But yeah, that's the history. So at least, yeah, we'll have a good view, and yeah, that was very special. It was very special to me. Okay, cool. And this is it. That's the end of my journey. I returned to London, and that's it. I tried. I mean, it's important to travel light, and so I had like a luggage, kind of a luggage to go. You know, like under the plane, like, you know, in the below part of the plane, and a backpack. So that was it. I know that other people, they only have a backpack, and they have a backpack that is very big. So they do this, but for me, a backpack and a luggage was enough. Yeah, if you've seen the pictures, I have so many clothes around, but the thing is as well, what I did, I was buying clothes on the way as well, sometimes because I didn't have enough. But yeah, you need to make sure that you have for everything. So I have for the winter, like for in Seoul, it was like -20 at some point, or -15, it was really cold. And then in Hong Kong, which was like, I just went from one to the other, it was just like yeah, it was like 15 degrees. So yeah, I had to have like different clothes, but it's doable. It's fine. I mean, yeah, it's okay. Okay, guys, so I hope I've given you the taste to travel the world.